All right, I'm coming at you with another video about tobacco and tobacco prepping, particularly for pipes. I'm actually really excited about this because I ordered a new machine that I found online, and I have not tried it yet, but I did just get some new tobacco in the mail, so I was waiting for that. So now I can actually put it to use. If you happen to catch my previous video, or one of my previous videos, I talked about how to ribbon cut your tobacco, essentially using a knife, and I kind of just showed that process, and that can be effective. You are going to have some of the tobacco that's probably a little bit larger than you want in terms of the ribbons that are being cut, and it can be kind of difficult to get it to the exact right size without using some other type of processing. By the way, if you don't have a machine like this, which I'm going to show you in a minute, another thing I found is you can kind of just use like a general food processor. You just have to be very light with it. You don't want to overfill it. I have like one of those blendy cups, and I just kind of put a little of there and just kind of pulsed it, and that also helped to break up some of the ribbons to make the tobacco a little bit smaller. And I did find that to be useful, but ultimately I really wanted to get something that was specifically designed for ribbon cutting tobacco, and it turns out they make a machine. Now, if you grew up, when I grew up, you're going to see this, and it's going to look very much like a old pencil sharpener, like you used to see in your school systems, where traditionally you would put your pencil in here, and you would kind of wind this crank, and it would sharpen your pencil. Well, as it turns out, it seems to be basically the same technology. Here's the grinder right there, except it opens, as you can see, from the top, because rather than putting a pencil on the side, you're going to feed your leaf into this and turn it, and then similar to your pencil sharpeners, it's actually going to open up down here, and you're going to get your tobacco ribbons. So pretty cool little device. I just did just a general kind of Google search, and I found this. It was very inexpensive. I think it actually I ordered it through Walmart. Actually, I don't know why it was Walmart. I don't think they're obviously not the manufacturer, but I guess they just online have a supply of a variety of different things. And I was also surprised that it arrived sooner than I thought, because I did not know where something like this would be coming from. But it did seem to be in stock, and they were able to get it to me in a relatively quick time. Again, I haven't used it yet, but it is an interesting and cool device. So I'm excited about trying it, and so I'll come back. I'm going to actually go through the process here, and then I'll make some more on this video. But I also wanted to show you this because I just got in a brand new bag of tobacco, and I'm really excited about this because this is actually organic. Okay, this is an organic Canadian Virginia flue-cured tobacco, and again, I ordered it from the same company as before, which is leaf only. You can find them online. They have a nice selection of things. The first time, my first order, I did a small order, basically like a test order. Some of the tobaccos, they let you do that. I've been smoking tobacco. It's very good. It did arrive a little dry, and so that was maybe my only concern, and some of the leaves were kind of crumbled up, but it seems that that's probably just how it works with their test kits. You know, they're not probably giving you the highest quality stuff. I can affirm with this, when I bought the full pound, that I'm getting the full leaf in its original state that's just been kiln dried and flue cured, however you want to say it. And it does seem to still be in a very good texture. So it may actually need to set a little bit longer to get it to as dry as I want. But this is really nice, and I have a whole pound of it here I'm going to be processing. So I want to show you that as well. It did occur to me in the last video, I kind of just bypassed the de-stemming of the tobacco. So I thought I would also, since I have a whole leaf here, show you that. And basically it's just exactly what it sounds like. There's no magic formula to this. I'm sure different people probably have different tricks, and probably as I do it more often, I will develop my own tricks. But for the most part, what you're concentrating on is just the central stem. And you can basically just kind of go down like this, and it will, peel right off, and it just kind of rips apart, and you got a nice sort of half of a leaf here, there. You'll still see that there are some kind of light stemmings in here in the middle of the leaf. Most of those will probably be okay as it goes through the processing, but some of those, you know, as you process it, you can just remove those if you need. But for the most part, yeah, it's just this main central stem, and it's pretty easy. See, it comes off pretty easy. You can even pull off some of this stuff there. And then we're gonna pull this down here. And we're gonna, like, this one's a little bit thicker, so maybe go around that, you know, and just kind of come back. You can do that and kind of break it like that, and just sort of fiddle around with it. So I'm gonna actually de-stem this part here too, because that is a little bit of a larger larger stem. So you can see that was in there. So you'll feel it though. I mean, the tobacco will kind of let you know, where the stems are thicker and not. So like this side here, see, you might not be able to see this as well, but that is actually a fairly large stem there. So I'm just going to kind of go around it, and there you go. I can remove that. And then here you've got some, I think that's actually fine. This looks good. And this one may have some problems with this stem here. So we're gonna kind of just remove that. And some of it's also just touch. You can just kind of touch and feel. And then now we've got several pretty good leaves, which we can feed through our little ribbon cutter. So let me get that set up. I'm gonna stop the video and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a pretty hefty pile here of tobacco. I'm still going. I will say, in terms of the leaves, I'm much more pleased overall, as I'm getting a lot of these large leaves, which are very easy to destem. As far as my new machine, I'm gonna say not the happiest with it. It is not as efficient as I thought it would be. I thought it would actually speed up the process. In fact, it's slowing it down. It's just not a large area to feed. I was under the impression that it would, as I went in there, it would go, but you can see, even with nothing in there, it's getting stuck. The gears here on this look like they're pretty poorly made, and it's just not really working the way I thought it would. So I've gone back to the old method, which is essentially I'm piling these leaves up like this, and then I'm just tightly rolling them, almost like you would do if you were making a big old cigar. So I guess I should put this on camera here. Move this over here. So you have the leaves piled up together, and I'm just, so now you can see, and the tighter you can roll it, the better. And you want to have a really sharp knife, so make sure you sharpen your knife. And you kind of just want to do it like this. And the thinner you can cut this, the closer it's going to be to more like a traditional ribbon cut. Obviously, you're not going to have the same precision as industrial manufacturing, but who cares? And what comes out, as you play with this, it'll get better and better. You'll basically get your kind of wheel like this of ribbons, and as you unwind that, that can become your ribbons, and then you can just pile those over here. These are pretty long ribbons, so I'll probably pop them in a food processor and just hit a couple pulses on the food processor just to kind of lighten it up. But I think that's going to be the more efficient way to actually do this, rather than trying this machine. I may go back to it again another day and try to see if I can't get a little bit better at it. But at least from my tries today, I'm not gonna say it wasn't gonna work. It just was not working very efficiently. You could only put like one leaf in at a time, and even that was getting stuck. So try this method, go back to the old method. It seems to be working great. I'm gonna keep cutting tobacco. Okay, trial by fire. Always trying new things. I've been doing the ribbon cutting with a knife. It's nice. You can control it. It's very time consuming. I tried putting the tobacco in a food processor and it didn't really work. But what I have found to be maybe the best solution for time management and also effectiveness is one of these things. I don't know, I guess there's different brands, Ninja and things have these little pulse cups. You can see it's kind of loose in there, and I'm just gonna show you kind of how I do it, and it comes out pretty good. Okay, so obviously I have the tobacco here in the cup. Again, like I said, there's a looseness to it. And with this, what you really want to do is you just want to pulse it. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oops. And you can see what's gonna happen is it's gonna kind of, sorry, that's shaking too much. Do that, and we're just gonna kind of, and if you just kind of hit it a few more times, eventually you will get stuff up at the top. There we go. Start. You don't want to hold it down, but just a little. And that pretty well gets it. And then I'll show you the final product. So here's the final product. It's more of a nice flaky style. I'll probably mix this half and half. I'll probably do half of it this way just for speed, and then keep half of it ribbon cut, and then that way I kind of have a little bit of a mix, and I think that'll be nice, just in terms of smoking the pipe. You'll get a little bit of a smaller leaf flake style, and then the ribbon style will probably help hold the flame a little bit longer. Okay, so this video ended up longer than expected. This has kind of been the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I did want to share with you what I learned in this whole process and what I think worked, didn't work, and kind of the good, the bad, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll start with the machine that I initially started this process with, which is an actual ribbon cutting machine. I can't say that none of these machines like this work. This could just be a very poor quality one, because as you can see, it's getting stuck. It's not really working properly, even when there's no tobacco leaves in there. But it was also very time consuming, because you could essentially only feed about one leaf in there at a time. So if you're doing a pound of tobacco like I was trying to do today, you know, give yourself a long period of time, even if this thing works effectively. The other option was just a standard old knife and a cutting board. And that was nice because you could get some nice kind of ribbon cuts. You could kind of control the tobacco, and I think you could get more per cut than you could get out of this machine. So actually, surprisingly, the knife ended up being more efficient, but not nearly as efficient as our food processing equipment. Now, in the case of the larger food processor, this didn't work for me. I don't know, again, every food processor is different. I tried putting it in here. I think the blades were just too large and too far apart. You can kind of see this is the style. It's kind of traditional food processor that goes on a blender. But I did find great success with the little cup, with the little blade at the bottom. And whoops, there's some water in here because I just was cleaning it. But just sort of loosely packing the tobacco in there and then just pulsing it. And that kind of made a nice blend. I think moving forward, what I will do, and this is what I end up doing, is a combination of these two things. I think it's nice to have some of the ribbon cut stuff, especially in the pipe. I think it's going to hold better, and you're going to get a better smoke out of it. But because I'm cutting it by hand, some of the ribbons are a little thicker, they're longer, they're not going to be the finely cut ribbons that you would get in like a normally processed tobacco, in which case having more like a flake style tobacco that you're getting out of this, I think the combination of those two hopefully should be nice. So you have some larger, longer strands in the ribbon that you caught from your knife, and then some of the smaller flakes that you've got from the, I don't know what you call it, the spinny cup or whatever you want to call it. So I think next time what I'll do is this is the other thing. When you get the tobacco, you're going to notice that some of the tobacco is, the leaves are pretty much still intact. They're going to look very nice. You can kind of fold them out and see the leaf in its full sort of normal state, as I showed you at the beginning of the video. But there's also going to be some of the leaves that kind of don't have the same, I don't know, they're not going to be as full. They might be broken, they might be damaged. Some of it could be from shipping, some of it could have just been through the kiln process of them drying it out. So the obvious thing to do would be just to simply separate the really clean leaves from the kind of broken or damaged leaves, and then destem them all, throw the broken or sort of damaged leaves into the spinny cup, because those become very hard to ribbon cut anyways, and then take the nicer, cleaner full leaves, and then those are easier to roll nicely and ribbon cut, and then combine those two into what we have here, which I'll show you. So this is the finished process, and you'll see it's a combination of, the ribbon cutting I did, but also, some of the flaky stuff from the food processor. So I'm hopeful that this will work. I will say that using the spinny cup here, the pro to that is it dramatically decreased the time. Probably I did the other half of the bag with this, and it took me, maybe 10 minutes, as opposed to the knife, which I think I probably had spent a good hour hand chopping it all. So I think that combination is probably going to be good, but I guess we won't fully know until we start smoking it. Overall, very pleased with the results.